Hey there, welcome to the Best of the Tattoo Weekly. My name is Jake. If you're not familiar with the Tattoo Weekly, it is a live show that airs Monday mornings at 10 a.m. Central Time. It's an hour long, and the Fireside Tattoo Network puts it on in partnership with Reinventing the Tattoo and Tattoo Now. There are three hosts, Lauren Gregory of Reinventing the Tattoo, Gabe Ripley of Tattoo Now, and me. And we tackle each week current events in the tattoo world. We talk about upcoming conventions, workshops, things like that, stuff that artists and tattoo fans might find interesting. And then at the end of each show, for the last half hour, we typically have a special guest on. It may be a tattoo artist or promoter or someone from within the tattoo or art industries. And this that you're about to watch is just the best of some of our recent shows. So if you want to keep up with the Tattoo Weekly, be sure to tune in to the Fireside Tattoo Network's YouTube channel right here every Monday at 10 a.m. Central. You can also sign up for our newsletter, and you'll get reminders of upcoming episodes and who's coming on, what type of guests we're going to have, what type of topics we might be covering, things of that nature. So be sure to sign up for our newsletter if you have not already. I'll make sure to leave a link in the description, and enjoy today's episode. So what part of Carolina, are you guys from the same town in Carolina? No?
Pretty close.
Yeah, real close. Emerald Island, Jacksonville. So he was working out of Jacksonville at the time, and I was living in Emerald Island.
Okay.
Because I was in just went to college, so I was in Chapel Hill coming back, and then after college, I was there for like 6 months, and then I moved to Boston, which is where I've been till now.
Okay, so you went to UNC?
Yeah, UNC Chapel Hill. Yeah.
Nice. I'm a big Tar Heel fan. I think they're gonna win a national championship this year. Knock on wood.
Definitely. I mean, they should have won it last year. I couldn't believe that after that halftime score.
I know.
I was like, oh, come on.
They have hockey in North Carolina?
Go
They
away.
do that. Carolina Hurricanes.
These pieces look awesome. Did you
look at that bird?
Thank you. Thank you.
So nice, super clean. Did you kind of start off with this kind of neo-traditional approach, or what was your drawing background before you?
No, definitely not. Honestly, I just did a lot of like graph and kind of weird painting stuff. I didn't really have a style at all. I was pretty bad, to be honest, but I was very, very much into it, and I just did it constantly. And then once I moved up to Boston, I started watercoloring more, as well as doing a lot of graphs still. And then the watercolor just kind of started shifting more to like tattoo-based design stuff, and kind of went from there. But no, when I first started, I thought I wanted to be like Cali Black and Gray kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was a huge, obviously, like most of us, like Tim Hendricks fan and all that. And yeah, I just love that style. And I was covered in black and gray still to this day. I got like 80% of my body covered. It's pretty much all black and gray. Yeah, it just kind of, you fall into, I feel like, what you're good at and what you enjoy. And but I did every style for years before I ever started to focus on Neotrad.
Yeah.
I noticed that it said in one of your captions that you're hitting the road. Last tattoo in Boston. Did I just
yes. So I moved back to North Carolina, but I'm not planning on getting with a shop just yet, and so I'll just be traveling for at least the next 5 months, maybe more. I've always traveled a lot. I've always done a lot of conventions, but now I'll be doing more guest spots as well as more conventions.
Nice. Did I see that you did something with a loose screw? Were you tattooing there?
No. I just know several of the people there.
Okay. Well, you should definitely do a guest spot there. They're awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great shop and lots of talent. Talent.
Yeah. A cool town too. Richmond is such a fun town. I'll be doing that show in October, and I love kind of breaking away from the show and just wandering there, kind of all the historical areas there. What's the big cemetery there that's so cool? Is it called Hollywood Cemetery? Maybe the place is crazy. You could spend a day there just taking photos.
It is a really cool place.
Yeah.
All the years of doing the Richmond convention back when before Billy passed away, and everybody talking about going over to that cemetery. I never went, not one fucking time.
Oh, really?
I was just always working. And we got done tattooing, and it's just like to the bar, to the boom boom room. You know what I mean? Go get him. So that was pretty much about.
I'm the same on convention days. I typically try to go a day early or stay a day late so I can see the town. And now I've gotten over the years, I've gotten where I just don't like to tattoo 3 straight long days like that because my convention tattoos always are so it's kind of like being in a casino where there's like no lights and no clock, and so I just tattoo for 12 hours. So I've gotten to where I don't tattoo that on Sundays. I'll just tattoo Friday, Saturday, and then make Sunday kind of a wandering day. So that helps. That helps too. Devin, I saw one of your stops is going to be in Nashville, huh?
Yeah. I'm stoked for that because I'm a big country music fan. So
oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's I'm like 2 hours away. I'm in Memphis, but we spend a lot of time in Nashville over the years. It's a fun town.
Nice.
TK and the Know Nothings. Who's your favorite new country band? Country. I'm assuming you mean like outlaw country, not like fucking country.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm definitely more like Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline,
cool.
all that stuff. But I also like kind of like the folky country stuff, like Tyler Childers and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
I play banjo, so I listen to a lot of old time music. So Doc Boggs and stuff like that. But I am really kind of all over the place. But old time is like definitely near and dear to my heart. So anything a few hundred years old, I'm down.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm with you. People keep telling me that I would like Tyler Childers. I don't listen to much new country, but any song that I've heard, it hasn't like jumped out at me yet. Maybe I should give it a little more time. But
he's great. He's catchy.
Yeah, Tyler Childers, Coulter Wall is another one. And Sierra Farrell is really great. She's like super folky, old soul. She even has like a little dolly, I feel like, in her vocals. It's nice. She's good. She's very good.
I'm with you on that. Go ahead.
I say he's gonna have to text me a list of these new artists I haven't heard.
Yeah, I don't know any of the new ones either, but I'm definitely with you on the old time country. There's a show here in Memphis on our local radio. This old guy, Bashful Bob, he's got to be in his 80s, and he just plays old time country for 3 hours every Wednesday. So it's a lot of like Louvin Brothers and Ernest what is it? Ernest Scruggs, Ernest Scruggs, and so he just plays all this stuff from like the 30s, 40s, 50s, and he plays some stuff that's a little newer, but not like new, but.
Yeah, kind of like outlaw country. Like they got Mojo Nixon on there. He kind of runs through things. So those stations are nice, and they're few and far between. So it's nice to hear that music.
Yeah,
I have to say that on the new Tattoo Now interface, under the management tasks, it's under the extracurricular management tasks. There's a long form music playlist that people can add to.
Yes, they can.
Actually, Jake, there's a link there in the library. There's a link straight for the Fireside Tattoo Network.
Oh, really? All right, sweet. I'll check that out. Wait, the long form music playlist. For what reason? What do you? So
I kind of had it for our old shop, but basically you can go to the YouTube channel and then click on random, and then it'll pick. It'll just play all these long form. I think there's maybe 20, 25, 40 minutes, hour long. Music stuff. So that. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, interesting. Well, let's you guys want to jump back to tattoos a little bit. One thing I was curious about when we were looking through your work is kind of your color palette and color choices, and I think that's one of the things that successful like Neotrad artists like where you can see the difference in the evolution of someone that's working in that style. It's like how their use of color, their use of like high key, like first off, it's contrast based first, right? So there's a lot of like really strong blacks and pattern based stuff a lot of time. But then within that approach to color, a lot of times I've noticed it's like it's a nice mixture of really punchy high key colors, really muted soft colors, and then also like some grays and browns and neutral tones that are used just right. Did you find that transitioning to this style that color was one of the challenges of getting good at Neotrad? Did you spend a lot of time practicing that?
100%. Like I would say that was a huge weakness for. I think I'm slightly weak at everything still, obviously, because we're still learning. But like I feel like in the last few years, that's what's kind of helped me get just that next level of better, where it also allows people to enjoy the tattoo regardless of subject matter more, because I feel like their brains just like, I like this feels good to my eyes, feels good to my head. but no, I was not, I had no art school backing or anything. I was kind of just figuring out everything on my own. And that was the longest to take to figure out on my own. And like, it used to be in the beginning, it was just like, I like this color. Let me use this color. Like, I remember I was obsessed with Mike Stock. I still love his work, but I was obsessed with Mike Stockings when I was first learning to tattoo. And I just put tangerine in everything. Like just absolutely everything. Like I loved the color, looked great in his tattoos, but I didn't realize that like there was theory and all this stuff to it. I was just like, shit, I'm gonna put tangerine in everything. But you know, you live, you learn, and you see your tattoos and you just do it more and progress. And the iPad has helped me so much because I do full renderings for all my tattoos. So it, you know, just being able to play with the spectrums and see things. And then I like to a lot of times just play a lot with my base color. And then once I find that color, then go off of that. And then you find yourself finding different palettes or things like that. I mean, I'm still, you know, terrible at falling into the same colors, but
Well,
but
it's working. I mean, if this is fucking terrible, then fucking I don't know.
You know, and I want to say right here, the one reason I wanted us to bring Devin on and put something on him is just like I was telling Gabe that watching Devin as a tag artist on canvas and seeing the things that he was doing, it was very bold and punchy back then as a kid and stuff like that. And unfortunately, I've told Devin this several times, I wish I had have actually took him on as an apprentice, but I'm glad I didn't because I didn't have the skills back then to offer what he's accomplished now. And he's actually become one of the artists that I look up to.
That means so much, you know.
He has sit here and by far surpassed anything I ever thought when we first said he was going to tattoo. And I'm like, you're either going to do really good or you're going to do really bad, you know?
Right.
And he's jumped leaps and bounds past even doing really good from everything I've watched. And to stay as kind and humble of a person as he is, and to every time I turn around, I look over here and I see something that just shocked me even more, where he's pushed it even better. And to keep on producing this level of quality. And then with granted, you know, you're still a young kid and everything. And but it's just that I'm very excited to see where you're going to go from here, your evolution and how you keep pushing everything. And it's really the tables have turned from you know, like Devin like looking up to me and me looking up to him now, you know. It's like,
but I'll always look up to you, Bart, man. I mean, like you were like the first damn good artist that I met that it would actually give me the time of day. So I you know, you've always been like, you know, big brother to me, and always will be. So, and I appreciate everything you said because it means a lot.
You know,
absolutely. It's fantastic.
With the quality of your work, the biggest challenge will be to keep your head on your shoulders. It's fucking great. The world's your oyster. You got anything you want to. Cheers the fuck up.
Exactly. And doing shows all the time, I feel like definitely keeps me realizing that I got a lot to learn. I mean, every show I go to, even small ones, I'm like, holy shit, I need to draw more. I need to work on the little things. I need to focus more. Every show I go to, I'm pretty humbled, I feel like.
Yeah, it's easy to be humbled walking around and watching, you know, tattooers that you've never heard of. You know, you're looking at work, you're like, I've never seen or heard of this person. They're obviously half my age, and this work is amazing. It's
exactly, and they've been tattooing like 3 years or 2 years, and I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, 100%.
Well, the problem there lies into the point, as I think we've talked about before, is it's ego. You know, they come out of the gate really good like that, but give them a few years in, something's going to pop that ego, and then it's all going to, when their talent that they have lines up with the experience, it goes, oh,
right,
okay, this is what it's about. You know,
exactly.
You know, and that's
100%.
You know, young guys like you have my focus. Of course, every day I always try to do a good tattoo and keep, you know, pushing what I want to do. But my drive for what's next is laying a better platform for the next generation to come through, you know, helping push or keep them in the spotlight and showing them the way of, hey, this is the old shit I dealt with. You don't have to deal with that, but you don't got to let your ego to come in there, and you need to, so help guiding people like that, and just, or sit back there and just give props to people like Devin, who just keeps kicking ass. So
yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And Bart, I mean, one of the things that you deal with when you've been tattooing as long as you have, and I think I deal with the same thing, is like if we're not with our physical tattooing outside of trying to help up and comers, if you're not finding a way to stay engaged and challenge yourself, with each new piece. Like I only do 3 tattoos a week, and so I don't get a lot of. It's plenty of time for me to tattoo each week, but I don't get. It's not like I'm doing 3, 4, 5 tattoos a day and working full time 5 days a week at it. So if I don't have the desire to make each tattoo interesting enough to keep me captive for that 6-hour span or 7-hour span that day, then I probably need to like back off, take a break, find something else to do. It's so easy. I don't know a lot of. It's funny. I was talking a few years ago with Andy Chambers, and we were. He's doing my back, and he's younger
Andy's
than
sweet guy, dude. Such a sweet.
I love
great.
him. He's one of my favorite people on this planet.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. But he made a comment that when we were talking about our history of tattooing, and he was like, it's surprising that you're good, and you've been tattooing since the 90s. I don't know many 90s tattooers who are very good.
Yeah,
it's like that's I'm not offended. I appreciate that, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And it's what people realize is what, taking, artistic approach to something, and that's where the evolution comes in. Is like, we can evolve and go artistic with stuff, but you still have to have the traditional foundations of building a tattoo, because this medium is what it is. And if you don't understand how to lay the block work for it, you can't build a skyscraper out of it. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing about Andy is, watching him, because being another North Carolina boy, watching him at shows and up there, and seeing him understanding the line work value, everything's going and building for where he started as a younger tattooer, and seeing his stuff just get fucking insane. And I remember seeing him one year at a convention, seeing stuff, and I was like, that's cool, it's solid, he's good. And he come back next year, and I seen this Star Wars piece he had done, was like C-3PO and some other stuff going on. I'm like, who the fuck did that, and how?
Yeah.
And then it was little Andy, and it was like, God damn, his stuff is insane.
Yeah. I talked to him once about his kind of evolution, and he did Gabe, you might know what it is. He did some type of I don't know if it was a workshop or a show with a lot of people that he looked up to. So it was him, Teresa Sharp, Gogwe, Nick Baxter, and a few other people. And he said that he recognized like what the things that all of those people were doing that separated them from him. Some of it was very technical. He's like, the first thing I noticed, we were all tattooing, and they were filming the whole thing. Do you know what this was for at all, Gabe? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Paradise. He's been to a couple Paradises. He won one of the Paradise booths at one point.
Okay, but he made this comment. One of the first things that he noticed is that all of those artists that he looked up to came back with a 3-liner at the end of their tattoo and color lined and pulled out a lot of textural stuff. And he was like, I had never done that before. And just watching them do it, I was like, all right, that's something I'm going to start doing. So he had such a base, and then he just found a few tricks from people who just were a level ahead of him. This is the way he tells it, at least, that helped him to like if you pay attention, or I've been lucky enough, because like I said, he's doing a neck to knee back piece on me. So I watch him work a lot, and it's like the things that he pays attention to, he's super particular about shapes and how a curve flows across the body and how it meets another element, and how those two curves, even if they don't connect, like making sure that they make sense together, from a distance or whatever. And he gets so like dialed in on that he might go an hour without tattooing. He might have me stand up, draw with Sharpies, and then stand there while he tattoos the line. He's like, just stand for a second, I'm going to tattoo this in while the shape is right. He just gets so dialed in on really particular elements like that, and they seem insignificant whenever he's laying them in wash lines, but then by the end of the tattoo, you're like, oh, those sweeps are kind of what make this piece work. He recognizes that stuff super early on.
Yeah, he's one hell of a tattooer. Like I said, going against some of these guys that are so insane, and but such a sweet, humble person at the same time, and that's That's what attracts me to people a lot, is just their personality on top of their artistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a huge inspiration for me and one of my favorites, honestly. Just, yeah, I love his work. And what you're talking about with the shapes, it's also like he pays so much attention to the negative space and because of those shapes. So it's like, and like you were saying, like, oh, it might not look a lot now, but when all those colors are together, it's like, oh, wow, that background or that negative space wasn't just a background. It was actually a purposeful shape to the negative space. And I feel like it's so easy as an artist to get caught up in the foreground because that's the fun stuff, right? It's so easy. And to have that much attention to the final layer, to the whole piece is really awesome.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's those kind of big sweeping French curves and all that stuff that he's using to go through. We taught a workshop, the two of us together. We did a 5-week advanced sleeve design workshop together, and he was talking about some of his exercises that he does. And we're designing sleeves, and so he's like, I think about the areas that I don't really want to tattoo, like an elbow, the bend of the arm, or the spongy part of the shoulder. He's like, sometimes before I even start the tattoo, I'll just like make a point from point A to point B, and I'll try to find a unique way to get there with a negative shape that I've never used before, just to like lead the eye from this negative space to this negative space, or here to here. And it's like, before I even start the dragon or start the whatever, I just start to think about like, what are some cool shapes that are different than the last time I did this,
and how to get there.
Yeah, and how to get there. Yeah,
that's awesome. I love that idea. That concept's great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really great.
I have to use some stuff like that. I don't even think about that, because there's all these areas that you're just dreading to get into.
Yeah. Or because of those areas, you force a shape because you're dreading it.
Right.
Instead of really getting something that flows and makes it a more dynamic piece.
You know, because I think we're always trying to focus on, you know, the composition of the tattoo or how it's going to lay out, but then to actually just purposely think about what you don't want to do to make everything compositionally connect is shifting the brain around a little bit instead of how am I going to work this way, but let's think about how I'm going to work so I don't have to do that still. So
cool. So some of his ideas on sleeve design were really like open my eyes, and I want to get him to do. We did it as a live workshop. I think we had 10 artists, and we did it through Discord. But I really want to go spend a week or so up there and film one that we can actually release digitally while he let him design a sleeve in real time, which I'm sure he's always doing, and just catch one from start to finish. And go through his thought process, because the ideas seem complex, but really they're almost these rules that he has that helps to simplify his decision making. You know what I mean? So he's like, it's all if then scenarios. If there's a tattoo here I have to deal with, then I'm going to do this. If the vantage point is here, then I'm going to do this. Like, he just like when he first throws it out there, it's like, man, this is a lot for me to take in. But then as you watch it unfold, you're like, oh, really? It's a way to solve problems without like reduce the number of options you allow yourself at every phase of the design.
Well, it's kind of like
awesome.
cover up.
Yeah.
So it's like even like taking approaches to doing cover-ups and stuff like that, instead of putting a whole bunch of stuff on your plate that you can and cannot do, just go ahead and what do I have to work with, and let's go from there.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget that this does air live every Monday morning. So be sure to jump in the chat and spend your Monday mornings with Lauren and Gabe and I. And also don't forget to sign up for that newsletter so you can stay up to date with where we're going to be, what shows are coming out, so that you don't miss a beat. Thank you, as always, for supporting the Fireside Tattoo Network, and I'll catch you next time.